Hello students, you are welcome to another section of chemistry with Prepclass tutors. And with you here is Mr. Chima, your chemistry tutor on chemistry. So today, very quickly, we are going to be looking at past questions on JAMB for the year 2020 on chemistry. Now, in our previous lessons, we looked at or we solved past questions from number I think we solve past questions from number 1 to 30. Yes, so today we are going to be looking at number 31 to 35. Yes, we looked at 1 to 30. So today we'll be looking at 31 to 35. All right, so first and foremost, do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our videos, and just below there you are going to see our comment section box. So we would like you to drop a comment on our comment section box so that Prepclass will know, or Prepclass will have a feel of what you think about our videos. We would like to know how our videos has been helping you, if these are videos you've been watching have really been very, very helpful. All right, so one more thing is that do not forget to share our videos. Try as much as possible to also share our videos so that they will reach as much people as possible. All right, so let us go. So question number 31. The only metal from the following that liberates hydrogen from cold water in bubble is the only metal from the following that liberates hydrogen from cold water in bubble is, I don't even know what they mean by a bubble. Let's just say the only metal from the following that liberates hydrogen from cold water is, they're asking you between magnesium, sodium, calcium, and aluminium, which one will liberate hydrogen from cold water? Now, I said that out of all these metals listed below, sodium is the most reactive. And because it belongs to group 1, are you following? Sodium is the most reactive because it belongs to group 1 of the periodic table. So only sodium can liberate hydrogen from cold water. Calcium can only do so in warm water, and the reaction is relatively slow. So out of all these elements they gave here, sodium is the most reactive because it belongs to group 1. Though calcium and magnesium belong to group 2. They are not as reactive as was sodium. Aluminium belongs to group 3. So because sodium belongs to group 1, is the most reactive. And it is the only one that will liberate hydrogen from cold water. You can see the equation below. Sodium will react with water to give what? Sodium hydroxide and hydrogen. So only sodium can react vigorously with cold water to liberate what? Hydrogen. So the correct answer is option B, sodium. Only sodium will react with what? Water or cold water to liberate what? Hydrogen gas. Question number 32. What is the ratio of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen in carbohydrates? What is the ratio of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen in carbohydrates? Is it 1:2:1? Is it 2:1:1? Is it 3:1:1? Is it 1:1:1? Now, I said that carbohydrates have the general formula CxH2O into bracket Y. Now, we see that hydrogen and oxygen are in the ratio 2:1. So if you see here, you see hydrogen and oxygen are in the ratio 2:1. 2:1. Are you following? But we are not sure of that of carbon. But if we look at an example of a carbohydrate, let's say glucose, you see that the molecular formula of glucose is C6H12O6. So you can see 1:2:1. So hydrogen to oxygen is 2:1. So let's say carbon 2 be 1. So 1:2:1 from this formula of glucose. So out of all the options they give us here, the best choice is 1:2:1. 1:2:1. And the correct answer is what? A. Very simple. Question number 33. In the dissolution of sugar in tea, the reaction is always accompanied by positive change, negative entropy change, a minimum entropy change, no entropy change. What is entropy? Entropy is the degree of disorder or randomness of a system. the degree of disorder of randomness of a system. So in a kind of system whereby there is a movement between the molecules, maybe there's a kind of kinetic energy causing the molecules to move about haphazardly, or whereby there is a violent reaction or vigorous reaction, there is usually an increase in entropy. But in this state, they're talking about dissolution of sugar in water. The sugar molecules will just spread out, diffuse into the water solution. So I don't think there's any much reaction or any much kind of disorder. It's just mere diffusion, which is just movement from a higher concentration to a lower concentration. I don't think it is a degree of disorder or random movement of the molecules haphazardly and all that. No. So if you look here, I'll state that there is let's see, dissolution of sugar in water. Since the molecules will diffuse and spread around the sugar solution, if you go to no entropy change, there is still a form of disorder. There is still a form of disorder because the molecules will diffuse, yes, they will move randomly in solution, they'll be moving randomly spread. So I think the best answer here is minimum entropy change. Because if you say no entropy change, that means the molecules will be together. The sugar will not dissolve. But the sugar dissolve now. I don't mean the sugar does not dissolve, it still remains in the solid state in that liquid. It is no entropy change. But so long as the sugar dissolves, there's a tendency that the molecules will move randomly. Because entropy is the degree of disorder or randomness of a system. So I think the best choice here is C and not D. So go for C. C is the best answer here. There's minimum entropy change. Because the molecules will actually diffuse, will actually move. So there's a minimum entropy change. 34. What is the oxidation state of chlorine in CHClO4? What is the oxidation state of chlorine in HClO4? Very simple. You must know one that the oxidation state of a neutral compound is 0. This is HClO4. There is no charge. You can't see any charge here. So since there is no charge here, the oxidation state of HClO4 is 0. That's number one. Number two, you must know that hydrogen has an oxidation state of +1 in many compounds, except in hydrides where it is -1. And also, oxygen has an oxidation state of -2 in many compounds, except in peroxide where it is -1. This is not a hydride. This is not a peroxide. So the oxidation state of hydrogen here will be +1, and the oxidation state of oxygen here will be -2. Do you understand? So we know that of hydrogen and oxygen now, looking for that of chlorine. And the oxidation of the compound is 0. So using H plus Cl plus 4 atoms of oxygen will give you 0. Because the oxidation of the compound is what? Neutral compound is 0. So hydrogen is now 1 plus chlorine unknown plus oxygen is 4 times 0. That's oxidation of oxygen -2. That's 4 times -2. And that's 0. So that's 1 plus Cl plus 4 times -2. So plus times, okay, let us say plus, okay, yes, 4 times -2, 4 times, plus and minus is minus, 4 times 2 is 8, is equals to 0. So 1 plus Cl plus times minus is minus, bring that 8 is equals to 0. 1 minus 8 will give you -7. So Cl minus 7 equals 0. So Cl becomes, take -7 to this side, Cl becomes +7. So the best answer is +7. Very simple. Question number 35, and obviously the last for today. Which of the allotropes of carbon is used for the decolorization of sugar? Which of the allotropes of carbon is used for the decolorization of sugar? Is it charcoal? Is it soot? Is it graphite? Is it lamp-black? You must understand that charcoal is an adsorbent. Charcoal is an adsorbent. Charcoal is used to absorb odor. It can be used to absorb gases. It can be used to absorb dye. I don't know if you can try this thing at home. If you're a kind of person that when you wear your shoe, then maybe your shoe kinds of smell, maybe due to sweat. Most people sweat on their foot. If you want to prevent that, just get some charcoal and put it in your shoe overnight. The next morning, you will notice that you will not see or perceive that odor again. When we are kids those days, I remember some of us, our teeth to be very brown or brownish. If our mother wants to whiten your tooth by force, she will kind of get your brush, crush some charcoal into powder, and place the powdered charcoal on your brush, and she will use it to brush your teeth. When she does that, the charcoal is going to absorb all those brownish color that refuse to remove from that stubborn teeth. It will remove by force. Our mother does that to us when we are kids. So if you look at that, charcoal is a very good absorbent. In some industries, when they manufacture gas mask, I don't mean nose mask, I don't mean all this one that you wear during this COVID-19 period. No, that's not what I mean. I mean gas mask, the one that prevents gases from entering your nose apart from the oxygen. They usually put charcoal there. They use charcoal in making gas mask. That charcoal helps to absorb any kind of poisonous gas. In the decolorization of sugar, after they manufacture sugar, sugar is usually brown. Even this Vaseline you use, after manufacturing, is usually brown. So they usually put animal charcoal there to remove that brownish color. So charcoal is generally used as an adsorbent. So the best choice there is charcoal. So it's charcoal that is used in the decolorization of sugar, petroleum jelly, and many other things like that. All right, students, we've come to the end of today's section with Prepclass Tutors, where we solved past questions on JAMB chemistry for the year 2020. We looked at questions 31 to 35. In our next video, we are going to be looking at question 36 to 40. So a quick one, if you look below here, you will see a link. Click on this link or copy this link, paste it on your browser, and it will land you into our WhatsApp group. So I advise you to join our WhatsApp group, because if you do so, you'll be getting infos and updates on our latest videos on YouTube that will be really, really helpful with you. So it's a nice one. It's a nice one discussing or talking with you or teaching you guys on chemistry today. So till we meet again, my name still remains Mr. Chima. Bye and do stay safe.